Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I remember it was 2018 when we first brought on Dad's Mustang to the channel and introduced him into the actual Rowe racing team. He was the OG Rowe racing founder, and as his youngest son, I took the reins and took it over and just proceeded on with it. And as you guys know, I still have the Camaro. It's being worked on, so on and so forth. Racing season's almost done. It's September, second week of September, and but I wanted to get the car out, take it for a drive, take it for your cruises, backcountry roads, and with last couple races coming up in pacemakers. But for another introduction to the car again, it's a 95 Mustang GT. It is supercharged. It's a 5.0. It's got a V1 Vortex supercharger on it. It is a gorgeous red, and the video does not do it justice. How gorgeous this car truly is. It reminds me of a Candy Apple, but without the metallic in it. But for the most part, the interior is stock. It's pretty much been, actually, it has been left unchanged, untouched since Dad. And for those of you who don't know, Dad is no longer with us. So he left it with with us to continue racing it, to continue enjoying it, even though I'm not a Ford guy. But being Dad's car, I'll always love it. But for the most part, the interior is left exactly the way it was. There is no cage in it. You have your standardized performance, aftermarket performance transmission cooler gauge, your boost gauge, and your oil temperature gauge. You also have your two-step down here, right there is your two-step. Your light is up here, right there, and then of course your boost retard for timing. It is not to be messed with via the tuner. It has the C6 transmission in it with a full manual reverse valve body, which makes it pretty fun to drive. It is a 3-speed and has your sport compact monster tachometer in it. Other than that, the interior is in really good shape. Has truly been unmolested, untouched. The previous owner, before Dad, did a good job of putting some of the stuff together, and just a really well-maintained car. I don't think we're going to put the cage in it. If we do, maybe a simple 4-point, maybe a 6-point cage. Nothing extreme. That's pretty much all it has to do with the interior. All cloth, power everything, AC, heat, all accessories, everything still works. Nice thing about this car, everything still works. The car has been lowered. I don't know the inches exactly, but the Camaro was lowered 2 inches with adjustable coilovers. Mustang does not have the adjustable coilovers, but it has been lowered. We do know that. There's quite a few things about the car that we don't know. So we kind of, as we're going along and we're doing maintenance, which typically happens, that's our dog. When we do the maintenance on the car, once a week or every 2 weeks, whenever I go in before I drive it, we find new things really. The stock brakes are still on it. Nothing crazy like what I have in my car. I have the aerospace components, billet brakes on the Camaro. So my car is still street legal, 100%, but it's still go through the drag strip or people on the street with some fucking ass. That's what my car is designed for. Camaro, Mustang, pretty much the same thing. It's just the Camaro's got it beat, double the horsepower. But then again, I also have the power adder on the Camaro compared to the Mustang is a lot different. Anyways, we'll get to that in a second. So, underneath here, you can see quite a few of this stuff, but some stuff in here is not stock at all. If you can see it at all, not too sure if you can. You have your braces for the suspension, as well as the frame. It does have true dual exhaust. And the dual exhaust ends just before the rear axle. Actually, just right at the rear axle, actually. I do believe that is, I'm going to say 2.5, maybe 2 3/4 inches. Possibly 3, but I doubt it. Wheels, 28-inch Mickey Thompson drag radials. Dad liked to keep it old school, and he wants to be able to drive the car to the track and drive the car home. So we left the radials on it. Camaro will be going slicks, cruiser, but Dad's a Mickey guy. That's cool. Mickey Thompson front runners, skinnies. He has the weld racing rims on the front, weld racing rims on the rear. That's pretty much about it when it comes to the exterior of the car. This is all around gorgeous car. Then we're going to pop the hood. Once again, nothing has changed from when Dad owned it, other than the injectors have been changed now to dynamic injectors, which is what I run on the Camaro. They're 1000cc injectors. Previously on the dyno, we had the car dyno tuned up at Dyno Tune Motorsports up in Galloway. Can't remember the guy's name. Brian. Had Brian dyno tune it. This was 2018 when Dad was still with us. On 11 pounds of boost. The car made it was 503, I do believe. I have to look at the dyno sheet again. This is on a Mustang dyno. It's 503 to the rear, and the adjustable fuel regulator was maxed out, which in turn the fuel injectors were maxed out. And those are the old. They weren't stock, but they weren't no 1000cc injectors either. So I purchased those. We went back to the dyno this past week, put it back on the dyno again. I already posted the pictures of that, and that's about as far as we're going to turn the car up. Now, if you remember the horsepower mark, or total horsepower it was before, we gained 100 plus on that. We knew it was a fuel issue, and Brian told us that the injectors were the issue. They were too small. The supercharger there was more boost at hand. It could bring in more air. We couldn't do it. because we couldn't get the fuel to it. Dad has 2 fuel pumps. I can't get into brand name. I can't get into that stuff. I don't know. But I know he has the, of course, as you guys can obviously see, MSD, the 6, the BTM. For any of you guys want to know, it's part number 6462 and serial number 7591 for the 2-step MSD. MSD. Is there any other way to go other than Taylor? I run MSD. But yeah, I mean, like I said, if you guys remember this last video posted 2 years ago, nothing has changed. Still, trans coolers down here, has a Griffin radiator, still the 5.0. It is a non-intercooled supercharger. So 11 pounds of boost was max where it was 2 years ago. Of course, the horsepower market's at now. The boost is up from there. It does have stainless steel headers on it, long tubes. The Dynamod. It's got a Paxton, Aeromotive. That's probably the fuel regulator, the Paxton. Yep. Okay. Wrench and your Allen wrench right there. Adjust that, and of course that brings up your pressure. Anyways, you got all the new injectors in it. Oh, it's got. It was confirmed. We were unsure of it. Dad and I, how well built the engine was. Typically, when you buy a new car, you're given some information, but you don't really know how true the information is. Back during the winter time to spring, I changed oil. I dropped the oil pan. It does have a deep dish Canton oil pan with the windage tray, all the good stuff. It's got the unknown brand. I couldn't turn the engine over because there's no oil in it. It's got a forged crankshaft, forged H-beam rods, unknown pistons. It does have blueprint heads because the heads were he lifted a head on a dyno somewhere else, and the guy did not take care of the car, so Dad had to go and invest, I think around $2,000 for the style and the level of the blueprint heads that he had purchased. Also unknown cam specs. I cannot tell you because I don't know. I'm telling you everything that I know that was either on a sheet or that Dad had mentioned. But besides that, my job is to get in this car, start it up, drive it, go to the racetrack, do a hell of a fucking burnout, and launch this motherfucker. Pardon language. Besides that, that's pretty much about it. I can hang up right now. I'm going to start it up so you guys can hear. I'm going to go on the 2-step for you guys. You guys can hear what it sounds like. And don't say it sounds like no piece of shit for you. I'm sure it sounds better than yours. Now it's kind of nifty. Yeah, I'm not sure if I already mentioned, it does have the B&M Pro ratchet shifter in it. It's, when you're driving this thing, sometimes you gotta realize what you're doing because you can't go anywhere unless you're using the lever. But anyways, your secondary right here for your headlights, or I think it was your headlights, that is your fan. So fan on, fan off. That's it. It's kind of weird, but you remember when you're driving, I look down a lot, make sure the fan's on. Hear that? Fuel pump, fan. That's all there really is to it. Still the same car, just 100 extra horsepower. I'll let you guys decide how much that is. I'm not gonna tell you. Dad never liked anybody knowing his horsepower, his times. I will tell you the one time I did run previously was a 788. The car does not run it anymore. 788 was when the car was on 26s. The car's now on 28s. And with the 28s, I knocked off roughly about 4 tenths. I'll just say roughly 4 tenths. That's it. So I have the Mustang and I have the Camaro to maintain, take care of, enjoy, race, have fun, and that's it. So just wanted to give you guys an update. I know it's been 2 years. That's what's changed. The biggest thing is the injectors. Car needed the injectors to reach the ET and the horsepower that Dad was looking for. We have now surpassed the ET. So my goal was to reach that horsepower mark. We achieved that with these injectors. So until then, we will be at Pacemakers this Friday for Test and Tune. Saturday we're probably gonna go ride quads. So if you guys want to come out to Pacemakers, which is 2 miles north of us, I do believe, come on out. Feels better. Okay. I forgot to tell you guys something. Hey, look at that. New trailer. This is Dad's 21-foot custom-made trailer. Get up in here. It was all redone. Oh yeah, she's a beaut. This chair is only 2 years old. Used twice, I do believe. Maybe 3 times. It's AMO. Now, the battery goes here. There is also an e-brake that connects to everything, which is currently still at my mom and dad's house. And we're going to go ahead and build a bridge right here, and bridge either right here or on here. We're not quite sure yet. It's going to go somewhere in this general area on the tongue. And we're gonna go ahead and put a winch for that car and for the car inside. I just wanted to show you guys that. I know I mentioned that in a recent post that we went and we got it. We're gonna go ahead and go with the LED lighting on both sides, and of course go with the winch on the front. There's that beast. Soon, real soon.